From the time I grew up, I loved this school. I heard about it. I read about it. I don't bring tears to my eyes very often. I'm not a particularly emotional person. But I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. I didn't come here to be a legend. I came here just like you and the rest of them to achieve. And I don't care what happens. If there's any way in this world to have great academics, we'll never sacrifice that. And win the national championship, we're going to do it this way. Thank you.
Lou Holtz's first game, there was a lot of anticipation going into it. A lot of people that weren't in the organization or in the football program were very, very excited to see whether the results would show themselves quickly or whether it would take a lot of time. Well, I think that game kind of validated that there was a new sheriff in town, so to speak.
The important thing is to understand that all the great teams overcome adversity. We're going to have it in our life. We're going to have it sometime today. We're going to have it sometime next week. And you're going to have it the rest of your life, but you'll never achieve anything till we understand that adversity is what we look for. Because in adversity, there's opportunity. Thing to do isn't to punch them, isn't to talk to them. There's only one way you get respect, and that's by looking somebody in the eye for 60 minutes. Go out there, hitch up your trousers and say, hey, baby, here I am now. Let me see you run through me now. Let me see you show some disrespect for me with a nose on your nose. Let me see what you think of me now that my face is to you. We talk about respect. And we're talking about respect around the country. There's one thing that we want more than anything else, and that's respect. Let's go.
We went out against a highly ranked Michigan team. Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback, and we went out there, did not punt the whole day. Michigan had no idea what we were doing offensively. We lined up in the wishbone. We lined up in all kinds of different formations. We ran the option. We threw the ball more than any Lou Holtz team traditionally had thrown the ball because that's what I did. And we had a guy by the name of Tim Brown on the outside who was a pretty good playmaker. So we ended up shooting ourselves in the foot. The only reason we lost that game was because we had 3 turnovers, I think, inside the 5-yard line. We also had a kicker by the name of John Carney who had a fairly successful professional career. He missed an extra point that day, and I think he had a 35-yard field goal to win the game for us. There was also the famous Joel Williams catch in the back of the end zone.
Berline rolls it left. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Oh, they said he was out. Out of bounds.
To this day, all of us Notre Dame people will swear that he came down in the end zone, but the referees, there was no instant replay back then. The referees ruled him out of the end zone. Make a long story short, we lost the game 24-23, and I think as we were coming off the field, the fans gave us a standing ovation because they knew that the change was already begun at that point.
I'm proud of Notre Dame. I'm proud of it. Just one of those things. I feel bad for the players. I've been involved, but it was a great game. We made some mistakes, but golly, it was a great game.
We came in there and we'd had a lot of really tough losses during the last 3 years of the Jerry Faust era, my first 3 years at Notre Dame. A lot of very disappointing losses, and some of those games we felt like we were just literally outclassed. And I don't mean that from the standpoint of we weren't good enough to win. I mean, we just went out there and we came off the field saying, you know, we weren't even close to winning that ball game. I don't know what happened. They weren't that much better than us, but we got killed. Well, we came off the field after that Michigan game, and we felt that day in that locker room afterwards that we could play with anybody in the country.
I sat down and visited with the athletes every year, but particularly when I first went there. I remember sitting down with Steve Berline, and I said, Steve, you own all the passing records, and that's great. But I said, son, last year you threw 17 interceptions. I make this commitment to you, Steve. You will not throw 7 interceptions your senior year. He got all excited. He said, that's great. Is it the way you run the routes or read the coverages? I said, no. When you get to 6, you ain't playing anymore. And it's that simple.
Lou Holtz had told me before the game that if I threw an interception that day, and he it was kind of one of those, reflection on the year type of meetings the day before the game. And he just said, you've done such a great job leading this team this year. Even though we're 4-6, I really want you to feel good about what you've accomplished. And it was really a feel-good meeting. But as he was leaving the room, he told me, he said, oh, by the way, I just want you to know if you throw an interception tomorrow, I'm going to pull you out. And I'm going to put in one of the other quarterbacks. And I said, you can't tell me that the day before the game, Coach.
We get out to Southern Cal, last game of the year, and he throws his 6th interception, I think. And the reason I overlooked one that hit a receiver in the hands and was intercepted, which should not have been, it wasn't his fault. But I said, you aren't playing anymore. He said, Down, I made that promise to you. When I say something, I mean it.
I came over to the sidelines and Lou just said, hey, take a seat, son. I told you, you're done. So I sat down on the bench and literally started to cry. And I was at home in Southern California, had about 300 people at that game. And as I said, that was my bowl game. It was my last game of my career. We wanted to end it right.
So he came up to me and said, Coach, you can't let this happen. This is my last game. I'm in my hometown. I'm from California. You can't let me go out this way. And begging me. And he said, I promise you I will not throw another interception. And I felt bad for him.
I sat on the bench for about 2 or 3 series. And out of nowhere, I'm sitting there on the bench, and Coach Holtz came up beside me and jumped in my face and looked at me and said, are you ready to play some football, son? And I looked at him and I said, yes, sir, you won't regret it, I promise. He said, get out there and win us a football game. So the rest of it's kind of history.
And I tell you what, he led one of the great comebacks at Notre Dame.
We were down 37-20 going into the 4th quarter. And we made some plays throughout the rest of that 4th quarter that I'll never forget. Through a couple touchdown passes. Tim Brown had a great punt return that set us up very close to the goal line.
We didn't think that they were going to kick us the ball, and I think one guy got really close to me and I shook him off. We did such a great job setting up the walls that I had a very easy time just trying to get to the sideline. And
down the sideline at the 40, 45, all the way down the sideline, 30, 25, 20, 15-yard line. First down and 10, Notre Dame at the Southern Cal 15.
Certainly that play was part and parcel in us really turning the program around.
John Carney came through for us like he did so many times with the winning field goal. A fantastic storybook inning to finish my Notre Dame career.
All right, here comes the snap. It'll be a 19-yard field goal. It is up and it is good. It is good and Notre Dame has won it. The Irish have won it. 38-37.
Lou made a comment after that season. He said, we may have lost 6 games this year. He goes, but I guarantee you we're not worse than 6 or 7 teams in the country. And that said a lot to us. The next couple years, Lou got that philosophy and that mentality instilled in those players. And it paid off and it showed itself for a long time after that.